So, Squirrel Tribe, Tyson Foods has been in the news lately for some really stupid things they've done where they have fired numerous Americans to bring in illegal immigrants who happen to have work visas, right? They're firing a lot, like thousands of Americans, hiring multiple thousands of illegal immigrants with work visas. And so a lot of people have been saying, boycott Tyson, don't use Tyson chicken and things like that. But we learned and we know, you guys know, that Tyson chicken supplies chicken and other things, because they do have beef and pork, to a lot of restaurants out there. KFC, Taco Bell, numerous others. And one of those main ones happens to be Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A, who they are closed on Sundays because they are a religious restaurant. I guess you would call them a religious restaurant. They are closed on Sundays, always have been, always will be. And they've always really prided themselves on the fact that they have antibiotic-free chicken. Until now. Chick-fil-A is rolling out new chicken. And this was just announced out of Atlanta, which is where they started. Officials said they will shift from, get this, no antibiotics ever, NAE chicken, to no antibiotics important to human medicine, starting now, spring of 2024. Short, no antibiotics important to human, NAIHM. I did not know they had acronyms for these things. I think that's what it's called, acronyms, when it's just the letters, right? So if you see some place where you go get food or chicken especially, and they say NAE on their menu or on the chicken that you're buying at the grocery stores, whether it's Walmart, Publix, Albertsons, Fred Meyer's, Kroger, whatever, if it says NAE, no antibiotics ever, which is what we have become used to with Chick-fil-A chicken. Yes, it is from Tyson, but it has been a no antibiotics ever chicken from Tyson Foods, right? Now it will be a no antibiotics important to human medicine, meaning what they have said is that NAE, just so you know, means no antibiotics were used to raise the animal at all. Nothing, right? In contrast, NAIHM, no antibiotics important to human medicine, restricts the use of antibiotics that are important to human medicine and commonly used to treat people. It also allows the use of animal antibiotics only if the animal and those around it become sick. That's what they say, at least. Now, it says here that restaurant officials said the shift was made to recommit to customers who are still selective about the chicken they serve and maintain high animal well-being standards. Chick-fil-A also established an animal well-being council of outside experts so that the company can stay informed on how they can improve their policies and practices when serving customers their world-famous chicken. Quality has always been our approach to food. This is according to their officials. Because chicken is at the center of our menu, Chick-fil-A, we serve only real white breast meat with no added fillers, artificial preservatives, or steroids. For now, right? They're making those changes. Might as well make other changes. What I want to know is, will the chicken taste different? Once you introduce antibiotics into the chickens, does it change the way it tastes? Does it change the way it grows? Does it change anything else? Because a lot of people have talked about in the past how the chickens who have been given a lot of different antibiotics, it does help them, their growth hormones, it does help them speed up growth, which antibiotics is not supposed to do. But when you give them so many, or you're laying it on top of everything else that these animals are being given, does it help plump them up faster? It does not say here that they are going to change their distributor for chicken. They will still be getting it from Tyson Foods, from what I have been able to gather. They will just now allow them to have antibiotics in their system. Which brings me to another comment or thought process, if you will. Who is to say that other things will not be allowed in the chickens? Is Chick-fil-A making this change because they want to or because they have to? Because now it will be even harder to find antibiotic-free chicken or animals in general with the way our food supply is going. Is this something that now we have to worry about? Because they were so worried about the avian flu or avian influenza, chicken flu, whatever you want to call it, bird flu, the past couple of years. They were saying there's a huge uptick. They had a ton of it in California and other places where they were having to put down millions upon millions of hens and roasting birds. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it. The birds they use for food, and then the ones they use for egg laying. They put down millions upon millions of them, which is why they said our prices for eggs and chickens went through the roof, right? Well, now, are they going to try to say that they have to give them something as a preventative measure for bird flu in the future? Or is this one of those things where we know that bird flu does not transfer to humans? Like, we've read about it, we talked about it numerous times. There is no scientific proof that birds that have been infected with bird flu will then pass it on to humans in consumption, because cooking chicken would kill whatever the problems are. Yet they still decided to, over the last couple of years, just go ahead and slaughter all the birds instead. So we'll never really know if you can eat a bird that was affected with bird flu and be perfectly fine. But it makes me wonder if this is going to be something that they use to make sure that these birds do not contract avian influenza in the future. If this is going to be sort of a preemptive birdie jab, if you will. And then if that's the case, can you then really trust going to eat at any of these places? I want to know, Chick-fil-A even has a pizza coming out. Like, why does Chick-fil-A need a pizza? They don't have to be everything to everybody, right? But they have pizza coming out too, in case anybody was curious. But the fact that they are now stepping back in what I'm going to call stepping back on their morals. Because to me, I don't know if morals is really the right word, but when they have been a no antibiotics, free at all, to suddenly, well, we're going to let a little bit of them in, just a smidgen of antibiotics, and that says a lot to me. It says that either they are being forced to do so because the manufacturers, Tyson Foods, are now saying that they are going to give all of their birds some sort of antibiotics, or they're saying, Chick-fil-A is saying, we can get our chickens cheaper if we go with a lower grade that has been given antibiotics, because you have to also take that into consideration. Their prices have gone through the roof because the price of chicken and things have gone up like crazy. And the cleaner you want your meats or your fruits or your vegetables, the more you're paying. You're paying to stay healthy, if you will. So they're going for ones in order to continue going for ones that have no antibiotics, it's probably going to cost them more. And then in turn will cost you and I more if we were to frequent their establishments. And that would be another price increase. And a lot of people are not going to be willing to pay that because things have gotten very, very expensive. We talked a lot over the last couple of years about how there were food shortages for a while when there were issues during the pandemic with supply and demand kind of thing. Well, now there's supply and there's demand, but now everything costs so much and there's less people who can afford it. So that's where we're going to be running into issues, in my opinion, when it comes to the price of foods and things like that. So for Chick-fil-A to say, hey, listen, I know we've always said we're going to have the cleanest chicken. It's not going to have any antibiotics in it. Well, now they can't do that, probably because of the price. That's my thought process on it. Either the price for them to stick to an antibiotic-free chicken is going to get too high, or their manufacturer, who they have their chicken shipped in from, Tyson Foods, they are saying we're going to have to give all of our chickens antibiotics. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that, because I can guarantee you that's probably the next thing that's coming, where Tyson says there's not going to be any more antibiotic-free chickens. It's all going to be no antibiotics. And what was the I? I can't remember what the I stood for. No antibiotics. Hold on. No antibiotics. Where is it? I lost it. It's this article. Important to human medicine. So with all the animals getting antibiotics, it's making it harder for humans. Humans are becoming antibiotic resistant because so many of them are already in the foods that we're eating. And then it's like this weird, prolonged illnesses because we can't get antibiotics to work. So now they're saying we'll add in antibiotics, but not the ones that humans would need, so that they can still be effective when they need their antibiotics when they get sick. But the fact that Chick-fil-A is walking back in their, I still want to say morals, and I don't really think that's the right word, but I can't think of a better word right now. Since they're stepping back in that, I feel like it's definitely going to be a money issue, whether it's from the Tyson side or the Chick-fil-A side. I'm not 100% sure, but I can guarantee you it's going to piss off a lot of people. And I don't know that I will frequent Chick-fil-A anymore, because I don't want things that have a bunch of things and drugs and whatever injected into them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just me, but I'd prefer to have meat as clean as humanly possible, which again is very hard to find. And when you do find it, it is a bit more expensive. So support your local farmers, your local chicken raisers and cow raisers. Ranchers is the right word, but I don't know what else you're supposed to call them. Support your local people who take care of their animals a certain way. And I do know a lot of people still have to give their animals antibiotics when they've been sick and things like that. So it's not really new at all. But the fact that Chick-fil-A is making this drastic change, I think says a lot about the economy more than anything else at all. So just a small little thing I want to bring to you guys today because I saw it and I thought it was important to talk about and to know, because if Chick-fil-A is doing this, I can guarantee you the other fast food restaurants will be right behind them doing the exact same thing. Just to keep that in mind when you guys go out to eat on a quick little, if you need a drive through because you don't have time to cook or you're running late to something, keep that in mind when you're going out and getting your meals. So that's all. Squirrel Tribe, I love you immensely. Have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.